was actually created by a Republican sheriff in Los Angeles County. And he created this idea. For those of us that don't really know, the idea of sanctuary cities is essentially that police departments don't coordinate with ICE, right? So it doesn't create fear in immigrant communities where individuals who are afraid to go to the police because they think that their immigration status might be questioned. And I think what we need to do is allow police departments to make that choice for themselves. Police departments are the best actual deciders for what they need to do to keep their cities safe.
Thanks. And we want to make sure that other candidates have an opportunity to answer this question. So if you would like to, we can start. Well, why don't we start on this end this time? Sue?
Regarding sanctuary cities, I know that there are many counties and law enforcement agencies that support it, much for the reasons that Josh just explained. In our school district, as soon as President Trump was elected, there was a lot of fear amongst the students, and we were seeing chronic absenteeism because the children were afraid to even come to school for fear that someone would come into the school and take them away. So we were proactive in our district and got the word out to the parents that that would not happen, that there are laws in place that protect the children, and it didn't have to go any further than that. We were able to alleviate that fear. However, sanctuary state does, I believe, prevent a lot of that fear.
Thanks, Sue. Just so you all know, I shortened the time a little to about 45 seconds, so we can do 30 to 45 so we can hear from everybody and more students. Thanks.
I think we shouldn't have sanctuary cities, let's have a sanctuary country. Let's make it so no matter where you are, you're not afraid to go to the police, because there's too many times domestic abuse, other situations that immigrants do not talk to the police at all and are in horrible situations because they're too afraid to do anything.
So I agree with Tara. It's sad that we actually have to go this route, that we should have tolerance and respect and integrity as a nation, that we're not dividing. But yes, we've gone too far. We do not need to have, we need the protections to make sure that we have safe communities and that all people can walk in their communities in a safe manner and not fear deportation or harassment or intimidation. So yes, this is a time that our nation should be pulling together, that we stand on principle and value as a human race.
So these are the quick facts. There's no legal framework for sanctuary cities. There is legal framework and laws being passed now on the local, county, and state level where those agencies will not use resources to help ICE do its job. If ICE has a job to do, let ICE do it. We're not going to use local, county, and state funds to do that. I've been on 2 particular job sites where we have ICE pull up. I'm not going to go into details on what's done afterwards, but it's very real, and again, there's no legal framework for sanctuary cities, but I support bills that would keep from using funds to do someone else's job.
As somebody who had to challenge our county sheriff for the highest number of ICE holds and deportations, not just in the Valley, not just in the state of California, but in this entire country, I can tell you that I am all for protecting who are working, who are struggling here, who are trying to just make it. It's called survival. But I also stand very firm that anybody who commits a felony absolutely should face the consequences, and that means deportation.
The question of sanctuary cities is just a smaller issue. It's really just kind of a red herring about an immigration policy. The fact is we need a fair and ethical and moral immigration policy, and we won't have that as long as we have Jeff Denham in office and Trump in the presidency.
What Tara said.
All right, thanks everyone. All right, and I forgot to say before, if there's someone who's not able to line up, please just toss up your hand and I will come and find you, okay? All right, on to.
So my question is for everyone that is here. So my question is, if you guys are elected, will you support Nancy Pelosi for Speaker of the House?
I'm gonna go random. We're gonna start with you, Mitchell. Oh, no, Mike has his hand up. Go, Mike.
Nancy Pelosi has done more for the people of this country than the entire Republican contingency in Washington, D.C. put together. Yes, I'll take that. Anybody else want to try?
Go right on down the line.
You know, here's the fact, is that Nancy Pelosi delivered health care to 24 million Americans. Paul Ryan's taking it away. So that answer is clear. Do you want health care or not?
I agree. I think we need an administration at all levels that's actually going to fight for the rights that Americans have, and that's healthcare, that's immigration, and that's what I see happening right now in D.C. Is I see our Democratic leadership doing a hell of a lot better job, actually pushing for the priorities that are relevant right here in the Central Valley.
It's interesting. I'm glad you're asking that question. There's no question that I will support anybody and everyone who has fought for us, who has fought for our many rights, and that woman has actually fought for the many rights that I am benefiting from right now.
So I don't tie myself into making a promise that I either can, won't, or for whatever reason, if it has to change. I would support a competitive speaker's race. I'm very grateful for everything that people have done in the past. I believe we need a little bit of a change in Congress. But I support having an equal amount of strong men and women at the table reflective of their community. Yeah, that's how I feel about that.
You know, as a proud Democrat, I'm going to stand with whatever it takes to get Denham out of office. Thank you.
I would also look at the race. I want to support the strongest candidate, and if that is Pelosi, I will definitely get behind her, but if there's another candidate that actually has a stronger record, I would vote for them.
Thank you for your question. I was at a recent event, and Nancy Pelosi's daughter was there, and she said, my mother is the target, the easiest target for Republicans. So it's very interesting that that question would come up this evening, as if her name somehow is representing something that's not strong and viable. I would look at what she supports and support her right along with her policies, if that's what's the best for the American people. Thank you.
Our fabulous Democratic Club has changed the rules just a little bit. So as these questions go down, it will be two candidates. So first will be Mike and TJ, then Josh, okay? So we can get through more folks. Go for it.
All right.
My mic might be dead, so talk loud.
I guess I can change my question to this point. So, Mr. Cox, your main concern in your campaign that you stated was healthcare, correct? And that goes for most of you at this point now. Why do you believe healthcare should be provided to people by government rather than stand as a free market in America? Why would a free market not be beneficial to the citizens of America rather than be provided in the government? Both of you.
Well, Medicare has a pretty decent overhead rate, and if you don't mind paying huge profits to health insurance companies, then by all means, support that aspect. But we need that money for people's health care, and we also need to tamp down on the exorbitant prescription drug prices. And you can't do that with the health insurance companies because they don't care.
It's really when you talk about a single payer system or a Medicare for all system or Medicaid for all system, what you're talking about doing is you're talking about cutting about 30% of the healthcare bill out. And so for your people that are working, do you want to pay $12,000, have that taken out of your check, or do you want to pay $6,000 and you get a $6,000 raise? The best thing that we can do for our country is have healthcare for all. It's the best thing we can do socially. It's the best thing we can do economically. And that's just not me saying that. That's the top businessmen in America. Warren Buffett says the number one thing that we can do to improve our competitiveness, if you truly believe in business, is to take care of our healthcare issues. So that's what it should be.
Super loud?
Yeah.
All right.
I just have a question for Carter. Will you be accepting money from reducing from what she's here?
Agency.
Exactly.
Yeah, so far in this campaign, every single dollar we've raised has come from an individual, an actual human being. And I think the reason for that is that the Citizens United Supreme Court decision was the worst Supreme Court decision to come down in my lifetime. What it did is it brought unmitigated corporate money into our election system, and we see the results of that every single day. And what pledge I've taken is to not accept a single dollar of corporate PAC money. And if you look at Jeff Denham, 70% of the money he raises comes from corporate PACs and special interests. Is it a surprise that he's more interested in what they think than what we think? Right? That's where the money comes from. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make sure we may accept, interest group money and people that are aligned with us. We will not accept a single dollar of corporate PAC money. That is my pledge.
So I guess in relation to that, I can tell you that 90% of the money that I have raised so far has all been from this district. They're coming with $5, $20, and God bless my mother and my father, who both pledged or came in with $100 each. These are 83 and 80-year-old on fixed income senior citizens. And when I remember when I first joined this race, they said, remember where these $100 come from. And I don't forget, because that's exactly how I intend to run this campaign. It's for the people.
All right, so our next one, Mateo and Dottie.
All right, great. All right, so I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area. In the early 90s, they went through this process called gentrification, and we were basically wiped out and kicked out. I mean, it mainly targeted Black and Latino communities, and we were just kicked out like we were a scourge of the community. At the same time, the prices went up, and everybody else had benefit from it, like the tech industry. So I was wondering how you would confront overpricing in housing and the gentrification.